You know what I got? Just in case.
No, Jesus.
Thank you.
The towel.
Balls on my clothes.
So is everybody
Very
here?
good.
Okay, we're all here.
Yes, we're all,
Okay.
we're all
I'm
here.
Wait a second. I want to see if I'm on, if it's possible. Otherwise. Hello. Nice to meet you. I'm here with our Priority Zero.
Hello.
Hello.
We're looking here back on 30 years of, it's a punk rock.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can say that.
Rock and roll. Kid
Yeah.
cool.
And so, you're from the US, and name what was your first what music did you listen when you grew up to?
Well, a lot of it kind of came from like skateboarding. When I was young, we started to skate, and then there was music kind of around that culture, and so we found kind of punk rock music sort of that way, at least for a couple of us.
But which bands?
Oh gosh, the first CD that someone ever gave me when I was 11 years old it had a picture of a little guy on a skateboard on it because I was skating. And he said, hey, I think you're going to like this. And it ended up being a record called Let It Happen by a band called MXPX from Washington.
And you?
I went to a show. My first show was in Ogden, Utah by a band called the Joy Killer, which was my first introduction into actual punk rock shows. And I was probably about 13 years old, roughly, and a friend of mine had moved to this small city I lived in and introduced me to punk rock through skateboarding as well, like Mike was talking about. And we went across the border into Utah and snuck into this little club called Deviate, and saw my first punk rock show there, and it was Jack from TSOL, I come to find out years later. But ever since I saw that show, I was hooked on, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life, and that's the kind of atmosphere I want to be engaged in.
You skateboard as well?
Oh no, I don't skateboard at all. I was in a metal, Iron Maiden and Kiss, and then I graduated to Descendants in 7 seconds. But I do not do any extreme sports of any kind because I am klutzy.
So are you the guitarist?
I'm the drummer. Yeah.
But that's very sporty.
He only has to focus on a few things.
Yes, but see, the best part about it is it's sporty, but I'm sitting down and I'm safe.
Okay.
So.
And you?
Yeah, all over the place. I grew up in a house with a lot of music, so Sam Cooke, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, and then discovered Black Flag and Descendants and bands like that later through skateboarding or BMX, things like that.
And on your last album is called Ollie Oxygen. Ollie is a skateboard trick, no?
Ollie is a skateboard trick, yes. It's kind of a double meaning type of title, yeah. For sure. And it goes with Ollie skateboarding, of course, given the skate punk history of the group, as well as Ollie Oxenfree being a come out and be free and lacking fear and to feel like you can come out and be free again kind of feeling. That's kind of what the album kind of encompasses, is not feeling so sheltered or tucked away, but actually breaking out and being able to speak freely and be free and not worried about certain things.
And is that I thought because of Oxy, you in that time you did make a album or collaborate with a very ill kid that on Eldritch.
Yeah, his name was Alex.
Oh yeah, Alex, yeah, the drummer, yeah.
That's was very relevant on Wikipedia.
Yeah, he was basically he was a full-on musician. He could play everything. He could write music, and he was a big fan of our band. And we found out that he was going through a very, very aggressive bone cancer. And one of his dreams was to play a song with us. So he came to the show, and we had a wonderful time with him. His family was so supportive, and he went up there, and you would not know that he was sick when he played. He was that good.
Yeah, he gave it like so much of it. He had therapy that day. He had chemotherapy that day.
Yeah.
Earlier in the day.
Earlier in the day, he came to sound check, and then he had to go to chemotherapy, and then he came back and played the rock show in front of like 2,000 people, and he just shined like a penny.
And then
He was just awesome.
I think it was like barely just a month after that he passed away, and it was heartbreaking because I still talk to his mom. It still hurts them. I could tell. I mean, he was just starting his life basically, which it breaks my heart. It makes you start to think about life is very delicate. You never know what's going to happen.
And what's the album Ollie Oxygen?
Ollie Ollie Oxenfree.
About the first song.
That's the title track. Again, that was funny. That song, the way it came together was it was a completely different song when we were in the studio, and then once we finished up with the drums and all the other parts had gotten lined down with the guitars and the bass, I started kind of rewriting lyrically and melodies and this kind of thing. So it started to make a lot more sense and have a bit more of a storyline. And it is basically what I talked about with the Ollie Ollie Oxenfree being a come out and feel free, under this umbrella of fear and feel free to live your life again, kind of thing. It was post the COVID times, or right around that time, and so a lot of it was everyone was kind of locked up in their houses and just kind of tucked away and like scared to death of death and life and meeting up with people and all these things. So it was a very interesting time, and that album kind of stems from what that whole time period was about. And that song in particular, kicking off the album, really sets the premise for the rest of the album.
And is that what was skateboard culture about? Is that what skateboard culture is about?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think so. It's about living your life, being free. Taking the hits and getting back up. That's kind of the biggest life lesson a lot of people would say with skateboarding is that you learn that through skateboarding because you constantly are trying and trying and trying again, and you fail and you fail again, but you keep on getting up. You keep on getting on the skateboard. You keep on taking the hits. You wipe the dust off and the blood off, and then you keep on trying it until you succeed. So I think it's really cool. It entwines with punk rock culture and life in general.
So your fans bring their kids to the show.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
it's amazing.
It's really cool to see.
Yeah, being,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, like a 31-year-old band this year. I mean, generationally, it's just kind of rolled over to the next, their kids that were coming to our shows. Now their kids are coming out almost as full-grown adults too, which is wild. They're like 18 and 20 years old, sometimes younger, obviously too. But it's spanning all walks of life these days. It's interesting to see throughout the years.
Sometimes I'm surprised that the kids that are coming to the shows now, sometimes they seem to have a favorite song that's not a new one. It's kind of sometimes they like their favorite song might be, something that was written 20 years ago. It's just funny, like they're not necessarily just into the new record. Sometimes it seems like they like a little bit of everything, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's like the tracks their parents turned them on to or showed them when they were younger kids, because a lot of the older generation fans of the band or whatever nowadays, they were like 14 years old, some of them, when they first found our group, and so they even listened to our albums. They were saying we've heard stories of them while the kids are still in their room, and like raised them on some of the music, which is a really neat thing.
And did the kids change? What looking back on your first when you started, what did change the most?
Cell phones.
Yeah,
When we first played, there was no cell phones. Now it's at the show, everybody's like this. A lot of people do that. They are like videotaping the show. Back then, there was no phones back then. So that's the biggest change I saw.
Another is there lots of repeating or continuity? Do you there's now on the Warped Tour 70-year-old bands, no?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's a lot of bands that are Yep.
Yeah, new generations, music styles have changed, but they've also, it's like the whole thing with music, how it kind of cycles through, is it 20 or 30 years, then it wraps back around. That kind of thing with like grunge, with like styles, with things, whatever of that nature. It seems like it's kind of wrapped back around, but it's obviously throughout time. morphed, through other inspirations and just technology and just life has progressed and digressed
Yeah.
both ways with progression, and
Okay.
so things like that.
Can you recommend a band, a young skateboard band, like skateboard band?
Like a new band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
We're the older guys now,
Yeah.
so we're trying to think.
I still listen to older music. I don't really listen to punk rock.
I mean,
We,
there's
Yeah.
Venomous Pinks.
What do you listen to?
There's a lot of good music out there.
Yeah, we all listen to like a broad variety of music. We're a punk rock based, ethos kind of band, but we're so broadly directional with all types of music and our influences also.
We get to discover new music because of touring around in the United States and Europe and Canada and everywhere we go. We meet bands. Like there's going to be 3 bands on the show tonight that we haven't seen at least a couple of them before. And last year while we were touring in Europe, we met a band from France called Not Scientists. And they had such a great show on the stage before we had to play. We were watching the whole thing, and then we met up with them later after the concert was done. They were staying at the same hotel, so we stayed out on the picnic table and we were having drinks and just talking. And now I still listen to their records sometimes because they were just great, and it's a great way to just discover new bands. I think because you can see them at the shows.
Do you keep up to date with politics? Is that an important thing?
I try not to.
Because on the album where you covered Revolution or the right Revolution.
We wrote Revolution, yeah.
You had a political message about Iraq.
Oh, you're talking about Mexican radio. We covered Mexican
Yeah.
radio, yeah. And that was about 600 years ago, obviously, it seems like at this point. But it was something very prominent at the time that was really, really hitting hard. There's a lot going on. There's been a lot going on ever since that as well, but that back then was a fun incorporation to bring it into current day. Because it's an old 80s song, right? So we decided to change that dynamic and bring it into modern day, which was the Iraq War, which was happening back then. But politics have always played like an underlying message within the group. It's never been a direct, like, preachy kind of group. Lyrically of any sort, it's been really more of like songs like Revolution. That song I wrote about more personal revolution, change within yourself, which also ties into change within the world, I think, which is kind of a cool double meaning with a lot of these songs. You'll see that it does start with you. Any kind of change you want, whether it be politically, socially, any of these things across the board, it does start with an individual and within yourself, and that's what that song is all about. And then from there it multiplies and it catches on and it catches fire in a positive or negative way, depending upon which way you decide to take it.
Yeah, because you're touring the whole world.
Yeah, and you're hearing different opinions from people overseas, from back home. So you're seeing a broader landscape of what's happening politically within the world. So it's almost a learning experience for us too, as a traveling band, to get to hear stories from across the board of how people are viewing things and other news networks across the pond over here versus back home in the States. You get to really pick apart a lot of things. Because in the end, it's a lot of it's propaganda, so you really have to kind of be careful about what you believe and don't.
Yeah, we are all the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. How do you record? What was the most favorite recording studio you ever did record in?
Oh man.
I love the blasting room in Fort Collins. That was an experience for me because that is a studio that's built by a band that I adore, and they were smart. What they did is that they got signed, the Descendants got signed to a major label, or all got signed to a major label, and they used that money to make a studio. And they've done Rise Against and a lot of other bands, and we had the pleasure, all of us have had the pleasure of recording there a couple times. So to me, that's like what I've always wanted to do. I'm at a studio that my favorite band built themselves, and they are there all the time too, which is great.
Do you use always the same producer?
No, listen, we got to throw Cameron Webster in love too. We've done some records with our friend Cameron back in California. He's got he's a one-man army basically. He runs his own studio, and it's just decorated really cool. We have a great time with him. He's very unorthodox in some of his production ways, which makes it fun and just kind of a different approach.
Is it is the producer like the engineer, the second ear, the last ear that does the master, or do you get influenced by it?
Yes and no. I would say that he's probably one of the last ears for sure. With Cameron, every engineer probably operates a little bit differently, but with Cameron, he likes to kind of absorb what we've tracked, like all the pieces that we put together for the songs, and then sometimes he'll call us on the phone and he'll say, "I got an idea for, I'm thinking about this sound or maybe this type of thing," and he likes to he just wants to kind of have a conversation through the whole process, and he also likes to have arguments sometimes.
He's like, if you have a better idea, fight me.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's like challenge me on it and let me believe you.
Yeah, we appreciate that about Cameron too, because like if you're willing to fight for an idea, then he'll fight you a little bit.
Yeah. Then he'll know you believe in it enough to want to fight for it that much.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, if you think it's a better part, then it's a better part.
Yeah, he's fun to work with.
Yeah.
And what can you recommend young musicians? We were talking about as a teenager being young and playing around. I think instruments. I think that's something eternal as well. For people that start in the music industry, because there's lots of
Competition.
crazy things going on in the pop industry.
Oh, yeah. Music in general.
It's basically, you have to have a deep love for music. In order to do what we do, it's not an easy job, but it's a fulfilling job, and you have to have first and foremost your love for what you do in order for it to work. 'Cause if you don't love what you do, you shouldn't be doing it.
And you said that the scandalous things that are happening in the music industry, that it's not inclusive pop music related. Is it
I think I know
everywhere?
what you mean.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate. It sucks because it's kind of dog eat dog, which is, depending again how you look at it. And that's why my advice would be to kids with that theory in mind of the music industry itself. Just make sure you're having a great time doing it. Don't take yourself too seriously. This band got to where it's at in the beginning by not taking themselves too seriously, and people enjoyed that. They enjoyed seeing that. They wanted to be a part of that. They wanted to be the guys on stage with us hanging out because we were having a nice time doing it. We actually genuinely enjoyed it. And you got to keep that mentality. Again, we're here 31 years later. You have your hard days, stuff gets tough, and it's a music industry, and it becomes a business along the way. But don't get so absorbed in that you lose track of why you even want to be there and why you're doing these 9-hour drives. Because otherwise, it's just you're wasting your time in your life. I think it's that you need to keep on keeping that youthful mentality of purity. Why you actually did it in the first place, and remind yourself of that.
And what do you think of AI? Do you use AI a lot?
No.
Never.
No.
No.
It's taking their job.
If it's not natural, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, but what do you think? How does it change the music industry?
Dramatically.
I'm not threatened by it right now, because what makes great music is a human element. The best bands and the best records that you've heard, they haven't been edited with a computer. The Rolling Stones sound the way they do because it's human beings, A computer can't play guitar like Jimmy Page. Only a human being can do that. And so I'm sure that AI writes songs. I've heard some of them, but they don't sound human to me.
There's no soul. There's no soul to them.
And I think that's what, when I fall in love with a song, it's because there's energy in it that only can come from another human, I think. So I'm not threatened by it.
Yeah, the future of it is maybe something to think about. You know, the advancements, because they are happening so quickly. The advancements of AI technology. Something in the future will probably be something to be a little more threatened by. But currently, that's a great response. Is that, you know, the human aspect of it is very much something that shines through beyond the, you know,
Is
artificial
there-
intelligence of it all.
Is there any good apps that you also used, music tech wise?
Yes.
What?
So this guy right here, Jason, is a brilliant writer of words. He can fill up an entire page of words in 10 minutes and rhymes and different rhythms and stuff. I cannot do that. In order for me to get 6 lines, sometimes it takes me a week, and so I use an app called The Word Hippo. Like hippopotamus, and it's basically just a giant thesaurus and dictionary, and so I can say, I need a word that rhymes with boss, you know, and then it will give me a list or whatever, and so I use the Hippo a lot.
There's also an app for the stage crew that so the band can tell the crew where to place the instruments and
Oh,
stuff.
like you're like a stage plot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. We use a thing called Master Tour as well. That's very useful. Master Tour is an app. You also put all of your dates in, your schedule, your load in, your set time, all these things. So it's very helpful for like when you're traveling that everybody knows what's happening. at
Yeah,
any given moment.
it's like having a calendar kind of, but it just has all of the like the papers and stuff that you would need. Yeah.
And what did your parents listen to?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, punk rock, classic rock, R&B, soul.
Country, blues, jazz, everything.
I think that's why we are who we are, is because we all come from so many varied influences. I mean, you wouldn't think that, but you'd be shocked by like where we got our influence from. Like, oh, this riff came from like this idea from this country guy, or this, you know, or this R&B song you heard. It takes shapes on its own.
My dad used to listen to John Prine in the truck when I was little, 12 or 13, and I didn't like it. And then I started to like John Prine later on. He's an American country singer from Kentucky, and then I was talking to him on the phone a couple weeks ago. I was saying, I've been listening to this John Prine record, and he goes, "You remember when you used to hate that?" And so, yeah. But you know, maybe you start to appreciate different, like our parents' music.
Yeah.
I think some of it we can start to appreciate a little bit more as we get older too. At least for me, that's true.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
I still don't like Santana.
Santana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think.
Yeah, when he said that, her face got kind of sour. She's like, "Really? You like your parents' music?"
So and do you get to write and are you planning a new record?
Yes. We're planning on doing one probably next year. We've been doing some writing casually for new songs for an actual full-length album. But you want to tell them about the thing we just put together?
I mean, yeah, we're always kind of writing. We're always writing songs. Brandon, he puts together a lot of musical arrangements, and I do too. And Jason is always you know, whispering something into his voice memo on his phone.
I think I've written about 3 songs on this tour.
Do you use Cubase?
No, we like GarageBand. It's just super user friendly. It's kind of hard to mess up, and we do mess it up.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of user friendly, so
it comes free with like Apple devices, and so anyone can learn how to use it. It's a nice tool.
What was your most favorite collaboration you ever did? You did team up with computer games, and what else?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think. We did Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which was really cool. Way back, it's been a while, but Tony Hawk's Underground. Really neat. Once again, bringing the skateboard culture into it, and again, just music in general, because there's so many great bands on those video games, on the Tony Hawk Pro Skaters. That was always a great one.
And you plan, would you do it again?
Yeah, actually, I've reached out to a buddy that they got their song on the newest Tony Hawk that's coming out soon, and the list is all filled up. But they are, my understanding is maybe doing a Tony Hawk Underground again for a part 2, kind of like they're doing now with the Tony Hawk, and gonna try and maybe submit for that because that'd be really cool to be a part of that again.
So, who are you fan of now?
As far as
Musically.
oh, musically,
There's the heroes you want to meet.
jeez, who stands out? Like new music. Still a fan of all the old bands, you know, like Bad Religions and you know.
But you know them all personally, no? That's what you imagine, like
Yeah.
when you're all on tour and.
Yeah, you've gotten to meet your heroes a lot and do collaborations with some of your heroes, like Pennywise guys. You know, just things like that. You've grown throughout just crossing paths around the world. Nothing really new stands out to me personally. Anybody got some new stuff that you've been jamming?
Last night, the three of us had a long conversation about Kiss and Radiohead.
We did? Oh, yeah.
We talked about these two bands pretty lengthily. Yes.
Barely. Yeah.
Fairly.
Yeah, and I think we're still divided. We don't know who's the better band.
But the thing is, like when you come from so many different influences like we do, is that they've opened my ears up to a lot of bands I never would have heard of, if it wasn't for them. You know, and I mean, and sometimes there's bands that I play that they like, and there's bands that I play that like what is that? So, but it's I think it's like all things that are great. I mean, it's like we have such different personalities that for music and all stuff, it helps open your ears up to stuff you never would have even tried.
You know what? We always got to throw out our friends Mercy Music, actually. That's a great band.
Mercy
It's a great
Music
rock
is a
punk
great
band
band.
that's coming up now.
From Las Vegas.
Yeah, from Las Vegas. They've been playing a long time, and they're a really great band.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got new music just coming out
Just
within
came out.
this last month.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can check them out as
Yeah,
far as
Mercy
new
Music,
music
yeah.
goes.
Yeah, check them out for sure. They're doing great stuff.
Oh,
The Drowns from Seattle, Washington, also doing great things, and they make regular appearances in Europe during the summer.
They're here right
as well. Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Why would they not be?
The Massive Attack makes a lot of has a really big political a message about the climate change or something. Do you think the Mexico radio did have an impact or reached somebody?
Mexican Radio or Revolution?
Mexican radio.
Mexican Radio, I think that's more of a, I don't think it had enough of a change in it to make a big impact politically. I think it was more of a kind of like a little moment in time that it was incorporated into an old song. So if anything else, I think that people just see that as a fun song, but I think songs like Revolution certainly have turned people's thoughts a different way. You know, I've been told that in the past, that it's made them think again about the way that they're treating the planet, the way that they're treating their political decisions at the polls, the way that they're treating their, just their individual lives. I think all of it, once again, is all incorporated and entwined. So people have come and told that that's a song that in particular, Find Your Way, things like that have helped them guide their path in a more positive direction.
Do you feel touring internationally sometimes under pressure being an American band?
Not really.
Not yet.
Not yet.
To date.
No.
You know, there's a lot going on right now in the world, obviously, so it crossed my mind, for a moment coming abroad. But things have been fine. People have been cool. They're understanding. They know we're not the ones being, making a mess of things completely ourselves as individual bands.
And do you, is there something, why should people start listening to Authority Zero?
I think we're a fun band that has a very positive message. When you listen to our band, you're not going to feel down. You're going to feel uplifting. When you come see us live, you're going to get to escape because you're seeing us four up there having fun too. So I think we bring everything together that is positive, and if you want to, you know,